Sorry, we're going to start in a sad place, but I promise we will get happier. As two people negotiate the ending of a relationship, they may suggest that they stop talking to each other. They won't message each other. They just won't communicate with each other. Why is this suggested? Maybe they hope to make a fresh start in their new lives apart. Maybe they don't want any of the negativity of the past relationship infecting their new lives apart. Maybe they even want to reinvent themselves as something new. Now what they're doing is they're severing ties with their past. And today, on ToK Today, we're going to ask what might be the benefits for areas of knowledge if they also sever ties with their past. Welcome to ToK Today. I'm Daniel, and today I want to give you an overview of one of the ways to understand ToK Essay number 3, November 24, Sever Ties with the Past. If you're unclear about the key terms, the basics of this essay title, then make sure that you check out our CTB Covering the Basics video for essay number 3, linked above. So let's jump straight in with the knowledge argument and look at the real life example and then move on to the evaluation and implication points for this essay. The knowledge argument that we'll take as an example is that a benefit of an AOK of severing ties with its past is that it can remain relevant when culture changes occur in society external to the AOK. So let's unpack the knowledge argument. The knowledge framework of an AOK includes the scope that defines the themes and the main concepts and the nature of problems that are considered by that AOK. Now, if there's a significant change in the culture external to the AOK, the scope may no longer be relevant, and such changes could happen for a number of reasons, including changes in the knowledge in another AOK, changes in the physical environment, changes in the availability of resources, or changes in technology. So we're arguing that when these cultural changes occur outside of the AOK must also change in order to stay relevant. And one of the ways in which the AOK can achieve the required changes is to sever ties with its past. In this knowledge argument, the relevance of the AOK is the benefit realised by severing ties with its past. Now, obviously, if you were to use this knowledge argument, you would need to get into how relevance is a benefit, and we do that in a lot more detail in the ToK Essay guidance notes before this essay. Before I move on to the real-life example, just to let you know that we've produced detailed guidance notes for this essay. Now, those guidance notes have knowledge arguments, real-life examples, evaluation and implication points, everything that you need to get a great score in your ToK essay. The notes are over 8,100 words long. They're like a mini textbook for this essay, and you can pick them up from the link in the video description. Okay, let's get on to the real-life example for this knowledge argument. Let's remind ourselves, first of all, of the knowledge argument that a benefit to an AOK of severing ties with its past is that it can remain relevant when cultural changes occur in society external to the AOK. Now, our real-life example comes from AOK the Arts, and it occurs in the mid-19th century, around the early 1860s. Before the mid-19th century, the aim of most visual art, specifically painting in Europe, was realism. That's trying to produce paintings that aim to faithfully reproduce the subject. This, it could be argued, was the main function of visual art as defined by the scope of AOK the Arts at that time. However, this significantly changed in the mid-19th century in response to the invention of a new piece of technology. Now, we're arguing that the change is an example of an AOK severing ties with its past. Now, obviously, if you answer this prompt, you're going to have to go into the many ways that the concept of severing ties could be understood. The new piece of technology was, can you guess? It was the invention of the camera and photography. Now, the invention of the camera and photography led to a decline in demand for portrait painters and other forms of realist artists. We no longer needed them to capture the faithful likeness of people, their families, special occasions, and so on and so on. And these memories could now be photographed. As such, this led to the opportunity for new functions for artistic knowledge, and one of the new functions was to capture the atmosphere, the experience, or the feelings of people, places, or events. The atmosphere, experiences, or feelings could be described as the impression of something, rather than its likeness. And so we had the emergence of the Impressionist movement in France in the 1860s. Now, I'm not going to define and describe the Impressionist movement. That's peripheral to the question. Instead, I'll focus on the benefit to AoK the arts, and then look at the evaluation and implication points for this knowledge argument. Before I do that, I'd like to ask you to do one thing for me, and that's to like this video and subscribe to this channel. If you're getting value from this video, it's something free that you can do for me, and it really helps me out. It's a way of giving a bit back with no extra cost. It's being a good IB learner, and you want to be a good IB learner, so press subscribe. Okay, the focus of this question is on the benefits of severing ties with the past. We've described the severance of the tie as the emergence of the Impressionist movement. So let's look at the potential benefits for the AoK. We're saying that the key benefit is that the AoK can stay relevant. So despite the Impressionist movement being strongly resisted by the art establishment at its inception, as realism achieved through photography grew, so did the acceptance and popularity of Impressionist art and more abstract artistic genres such as cubism, absurdism, and surrealism. The benefits of severing ties with a realist past for the arts is that they adapted to the changes that were occurring in cultural values external to the AoK. As such, the AoK not only survived by finding new functions, but it led to the development of new knowledge, new perspectives, new methods and tools, and even new ethical debates. So let's move on to some of the evaluation points and implication points that you could put in your essay, and you need these to get high marks. Firstly, even though the AoK may adapt to changes in the external environment by apparently severing ties with its past, we can often see that many of the remnants of the previous elements of the knowledge framework of the AoK still remain. Going back to our example of Impressionism, we can still see realist art being produced and value placed on elements of realism in the visual arts. Therefore, we can question the notion that adaptation or development of an AoK actually constitutes the AoK severing ties with its past. Now, there are many cool implication points that could be developed from this evaluation point, and I'll just mention one for now. And that is that a complete severance of ties with the past may be impossible for an AoK if that AoK is to retain its coherence, categorization, and epistemic positioning. I know that I'm not supposed to use the word epistemic positioning, but I can't think of a substitute word. Maybe you can. Okay, let's look at a second evaluation point. And it would be useful for us to consider whether severing ties with the past by developing a new scope and methods is actually a benefit to an AoK. I mean, it involves discarding or dismissing the existing scope and methods of the AoK. And the AoK may be discarding many of the things that makes it valuable, functional, and effective in the world. Now, obviously, this is linked with the previous evaluation point that changes in culture external to the AoK are rarely universal, as such vestiges of the previous culture will remain in the AoK, and the AoK will still have a role in catering to those vestigial elements. Now, a potential implication of this evaluation point is even more substantial than the evaluation point itself. And that is that the direction of causality in the relationship between the AoK severing ties with its past and the benefits to the AoK and the changes in the external culture. I mean, we originally argued that changes in the external culture caused the AoK to sever ties, which in turn led to benefits to the AoK. However, it could be argued that the AoK severed ties, which in turn led to changes in the external culture, which in turn led to benefits to the AoK. Returning to our Impressionist example, maybe the early Impressionists severed ties with the past in order to be recognised rebellious or recalcitrant, rather than in response to the development of the camera. This then led to the changes in the culture external to the AoK. For example, a few other people who also wanted to be recognised rebellious or recalcitrant started to like Impressionist art, and then the genre grew, which further consolidated the relevance and substance of artistic knowledge. And the implication of the coexistence of the past and the present after apparent severing of ties is uncertainty in the causal direction of change and benefits. Whoa, cool ToK. Okay guys, you've been more than generous in giving me your precious time. If you found this video useful, hit like and subscribe. And if you need more help, then pick up the ToK Today essay guidance notes linked in the video description. Tell your friends about ToK. We have resources for all of the ToK essay titles and many of the exhibition prompts. Spread the good ToK word. Thanks for watching and stay ToKtastic. Bye.